Any of these numbers are changed the same way. Next button down is ram dwell. Ram dwell is used for compressed materials. It was developed originally for compressed asbestos because the density would change, and it does on most compressed materials, and for instance, polyurethane will actually change the density throughout the roll. So if you run and all of a sudden you don't hear the normal sound and you don't cut parts through, but the press continues to cycle, you probably just need to increase the ram dwell a little bit to make it hold down so that it will crack through. The next one down is knockout dwell. We can control the air cylinders as to how long we keep them down. So the longer the number is, and it's set for 0.05, the more power they're going to have up to the system pressure. The longer you have that, the longer they stay down, therefore the longer it takes for the cylinders to fire. So you will set that along with your stroke setting to make sure the knockouts are out of your way by the time the press is ready to feed again. The next one down is roll feed release time. We normally have that set at 0. If you're running strips, that builds in a delay, time delay, so that when you hit the palm buttons, it gives the front roller time to close. And if you're in skip cycle, remember, if it's in the index portion, the front roller will open, and then when you tell it to start again, it will close and then feed, and that's just a delay for that time. The next functions down are for relate to the skip cycle. I'm going to turn skip cycle off, but the way I program now is I'm going to punch 20 parts for every strip that I put in there. And the feed is the next one. I would program that for enough time to get the material out of the machine. So you want the material out of your way while the operator's putting the next strip in. So 3 indexes might be normal, 5 also might be what it takes. It's just some way to get the material out of the way. In skip cycle, normally we don't use the knockout, but in some jobs you can. The next one down is stacker reset or preset. If I want this to do a box of say 500, I would change this 1, just like I did up here, to 500, hit enter, and as long as stacker is turned on, it will stop at that count. The next one down actually shows you what the count is. It's at 0 right now because we haven't made a hit. The same holds true for batch. So that's generally the job number. So if you're going to cut 100,000 parts, you would dial in 100,000 in there. This next number, batch count, tells you where you're at. So once it reaches 100,000, I think is what I said, the press would stop. And at that point, the only way to restart the press would be to hit a batch reset. And that would, if I had a number down there, that would reset it to 0. A couple other things on here. Down here you can see it says punches per minute. If I'm running the machine, this will take an average count of how fast it's running to give you an indication of how many parts per minute you're making. There's also down here a little sign that says run. If that always has to be in the run for it to cycle. If I hit the stop button, it tells me I've stopped because of the stop switch is depressed. If you hit a batch stop, it will say stop for batch. So just moving down, I'll go through these other switches. We obviously, we have a power switch. Green turns it on, black turns it off. The emergency stop is just that. It kills the power. So in the event of an emergency, you hit that, the 110 control all goes away and the press stops, period. And it stops where it's at. So if you're in the middle of a punch and you hit emergency stop, it's going to stop. If you want the ram to be put back up, you're going to have to turn it on, turn the pump on, and hit jog up button. The pump button is this button over here, and it's going to get louder. When I hit that, then I can go ahead and hit jog up, and I can raise the jog or jog down. As a safety, if I hit the stop button, it's going to stop the pump, and it will stop at the end of the feed. It will not punch after that point. So that goes over the basic controls, so I sure thank you for listening.